1 p.m. case, Omar Samidi, 415 South Central Avenue, Class D beer, wine, or liquor license, application to transfer ownership and location of a Class D beer, wine, or liquor license presently located at 706 South Broadway to the applicant at the new location of 415 South Central Avenue. Application includes a request for live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premise catering. If I testify, please support and raise your hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Melvin J. Kadensky representing. First of all, there's a request to remove live entertainment from the request pursuant to the meeting with the two community groups. Most of the agreements there are pretty close to the ones. This license originally was granted to another individual, and he couldn't go through with the project. So Mr. Smedey came forward, and he's going to take over the project. He's met with both the community groups. He's got 2 MOUs there. I won't say anything more about that.
You're MOUing us to death, Mr. Kadensky.
Well,
we like them.
yeah, well, you don't know.
But 2 is not necessarily twice as nice.
Well,
yeah.
I don't want to go into the Little Italy situation, but we got 2. On the case, if you look at the application that was filed, Mr. Smedey's, and I'll give it to you, that his background, as you can see, he's worked at Fleet Street Kitchen, he's worked over at the Four Seasons. I mean, he really has a really good, oh, I'm sorry, here's the rest of it, it just tore off. Has to do with his concept.
He didn't go to school. Oh, he did go to school for.
He went to NYU.
That was my graduate
Get your
degree.
name and address first.
Omar Samide. I live at 1749 Alisana Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21231.
And what's a smart guy like you doing running a restaurant?
Well, after paying Sally Mae off for my graduate loans, I decided to become more indebted to her and go to culinary school. So I trained in New York at the French Culinary Institute, continued my training at places like Gramercy Tavern under Chef Michael Anthony. And then when I moved to Baltimore, I picked up a few positions here, including sous chef at the Wine Market in Federal Hill, chef de cuisine at Fleet Street Kitchen, which recently opened, and lead line cook at Wit and Wisdom, which is at the Four Seasons, also located in Harbor East.
It's all those places.
All right, your curriculum vitae is admitted as the first exhibit. Second exhibit is your business concept, menu ideas. Anything else you'd like to say, Mr. Kadensky?
Well, you entered into these 2 memorandum of understandings freely and voluntarily, is that correct?
Correct.
You met with at least the one organization, and you read and understand all the terms and conditions, is that correct?
Correct.
And you agreed to be bound by them?
Correct.
All right, thank you. And again, in following your lawyer's voir dire of your signatures on both of these agreements, we'll start with the agreement between you and the Little Italy Property Owners Association. We're going to receive that as a third exhibit. You understand, again, as Mr. Kadensky said, that you're voluntarily entering into an agreement.
Correct.
All right, and you're voluntarily entering into agreement and requesting that the board constitute the terms of this agreement as restrictions on your license.
Correct.
Isn't that right? And you specifically understand that with respect to the Little Italy Property Owners Association MOU signed by you and dated February 23rd, 2013, which we have as applicant's third exhibit, you understand that there's to be no live entertainment.
Correct.
No outdoor table service at the present time.
At the present time.
Normal operating hours of Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Correct.
And finally, no restriction on off-premises catering.
Correct.
So I assume that means off-premises catering is
Yeah.
fine. Okay. All right, so you understand those terms, you understand that you've agreed to be bound by those terms, but by the liquor board.
I did.
Okay. We'll go ahead and determine that you have indeed knowingly and intelligently, voluntarily entered into a license restriction under the MOU with the Little Italy Properties Owners Association applicant's third exhibit. Finally, you also entered into an agreement, a memorandum of understanding with the Little Italy Community Organization Incorporated. Isn't that right?
Correct.
All right. Board has received that document as the fourth exhibit. And therein, you signed today that agreement, did you not?
Yes.
All right. And that agreement was also, signed by President Giovanna Blatterman of the Little Italy Community Organization, isn't that right?
Yes.
And therein, you have agreed to a number of terms, isn't that right?
Yes.
All right. In addition to agreeing to stay open, or in addition to being open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday, you've waived your request for live entertainment.
Yes.
You've waived outdoor table service.
At the current time.
You've agreed not to serve alcohol to patrons who are already visibly drunk.
Yes.
Which would anyway be a
Requirement?
Rule 4.02 violation with the liquor board. And you agree that there will be no music of any kind to be played after 11 p.m.?
Correct.
Inside or outside of your establishment?
Correct.
Okay. You also apparently have agreed that neither dancing nor dance floor would be allowed in your establishment, isn't that right?
Yes.
All right. You've also agreed that you and your staff shall keep the doors and windows to the establishment closed during the hours of operation?
Correct.
Okay. You've also agreed to restrictions on the volume level, isn't that right?
Yes.
You've also agreed to the upkeep of your establishment, some specifics on the upkeep, isn't that right? Finally, you've agreed that there'll be no third-party promoters at any time to promote or host events.
Correct.
Okay. And indeed, you wish to be bound by this agreement?
Yes.
All right, and you understand that this agreement will constitute license restrictions?
Yes.
Okay. And knowing all that, you want to go ahead and enter in, and you want to ratify this agreement, make
Yes,
it
sir.
part of your license. All right, well, applicants 3 and 4 are received by the board. The owner has entered into or the licensee has entered into these restrictions knowingly, voluntarily. We'll go ahead and bind him to that.
There's been no material changes or misrepresentations in your application, correct?
Correct.
You haven't been convicted of a felony?
No.
Your experience speaks for itself, and you agree to take the alcohol awareness course and also to participate along with the community groups, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. Mr. DeChico, anything you'd like to say?
No, I just came to make sure, because the application originally said outdoor table service and entertainment, and just wanted to make sure that that's the way it came. And I do have a minor question that the board said the last time when the license was going to be transferred to Mr. Mark Bachman from 706 to 443 South Central Avenue. The address, in my head, is the property has been consolidated, to the best of my knowledge, into 407 South Central Avenue.
Is this case?
Yes, yes, and it's a Vino about a year ago.
Yeah,
And
If you
it's
wanna
never been
address that, 'cause
solved.
I
Well, I'd like
don't
to
know the
say,
answer,
yeah,
but-
it has to, still has to go to zoning, but what is the address you're transferring the license to? 443, 415, or 407? The answer for these guys were 415, but the property's been consolidated to 407.
It's a big empty building, so there's really nothing in it, and they're assigning these numbers as the building is completed. And then the information is given us by the landlord was it's 415. Mr. Mark Bachman was given a different address.
What's the cross street?
Eastern and Central. It's the old Fallsway Spring building
So there's a gas station on the
across
corner.
the street.
Yeah. It's a Larry Silverstein project.
The reason the properties were consolidated, we're going to make a hotel 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. That fell through, and then another thing fell through, and another thing fell through.
So eventually, when they get their UNO, it will be assigned a address. Right now, we think it's 415 South Central Avenue. That's-
450 can stand anything other
They'll need to.
than that. As long as it's still 15 stone.
Okay.
And last question I got for Mr. Samidi?
Semi-day.
Semide. Can you give me an example of a quick service casual cafe in another city?
Sure, there's plenty of them. Le Pen Quotidian in New York City. Well, that's where I grew up. So the notion is you go up to your counter, you place your order, you receive a token of some sort, sit down, and the food is brought to the table identified by that token, or you take it to go. Witchcraft, also in New York City, Las Vegas, and I think opening up in D.C. shortly, is casual service, quick service. A lot of places, Bagby Pizza, for example, is also considered counter or quick service, located on Fleet Street.
We just approved one, the Perry Pon or something like that.
No, this,
Perry.
All right, no, I was curious.
Okay.
Grateful. So your menu's going to be varied, it's not going to be one ethnic cuisine?
no, it's not culturally or ethnically based, but it should be relatively stable throughout the year. It's designed so that it's kind of seasonless, meaning not flavor, but meaning it doesn't have to change necessarily with each season. Price points should be relatively low comparatively, especially for the neighborhood. Entrees under $15, lunch menu under $10. Desserts about $4 or $5. And at the current time, we actually, while the liquor license will allow us to serve hard liquor, we're only going to be moving forward with a beer and wine program.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Kudensky? We
No, we submit.
gave it a good look. All right, let's go off the record. Thank you, Mr. Uchika.
Thank you.
Let's go to the decision phase. March 21, 2013, trading Omar Samidi, trading as TBD. And do I have that right? Is it TBD? Mr. Kudensky? is that-
It's to be determined.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that's not the name of his restaurant. Okay, 415 South Central, D beer, wine, liquor license, transfer of ownership and location. The application for live entertainment and outdoor table service was withdrawn. Mr. Samidi has appeared before us today. We have, understand that he signed MOUs with 2 different community organizations. He's been examined as to the voluntariness of his signing of these documents and to his decision to be bound pursuant to the terms of these MOUs. Applicants for MOU between Little Italy Community Organization Incorporated and By Degrees Cafe is received, as well as the third exhibit, the MOU between Little Italy Property Owners Association and By Degrees Cafe. Board has reviewed a brief business plan and a curriculum vitae from the applicant. Then no material changes in the application will determine. Under Article 2B, Section 10202A, there's a public need and desire for your request, de minimis impact on the existing licensees in the area, the potential uniqueness of products to be offered by your business, a negligible impact on the health, safety, and welfare of the community, including crime, traffic, parking, and convenience. We're going to go ahead and approve the app, subject to both MOUs. And we wish you the best of luck in Little Italy. So
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you. Thank you. We're off the record.